So the boy fell asleep in the Toys R Us store, and he woke up with toys from the ceiling to the floor.
We've got the Nintendo action set, including the control deck with double game pack and zapper light gun for just $99.99 at Toys R Us. And we have all the hottest game cartridges at great everyday low prices.
Love growing up with my Toys R Us kid. Toys R Us. You'll never outgrow us.
Holy crap, I scored! Welcome back to the Collector's Zone. I'm Jeff Dickinson. I'm excited to share this special unboxing with you. Check this out. As you got the feel of the video, man, it's all about Nintendo. And you know, people are excited about Nintendo. Anytime Nintendo does anything cool, but I am one about the old school stuff. I'm nostalgic that way. And oh yeah, I've been waiting for this book. And you'd think, but alright, there you go. Let me go ahead and do this. Give me a second here, guys. I want to make sure I do this right. Now, if you've been following the channel, I'm all about these old school, classic, coffee table books, video games. This is the power. Playing with power. This is power, but playing with power by Nintendo or Nintendo Power. You remember those books, man. Here's a little close up here. This is something that came out a while back, and you've been following the channel long enough. You know me, I'm all about these sales when they go down because these books are expensive. Now, check this out. As you can see, it's like, looks like an old school cart. Now, let me do this real quick. I want to share this with you. I have a thing on the channel, a playlist of books, and this is one of these books that I highly recommend if you're like me into old school consoles and the history of video games. Highly recommend this. Watch that video if you want. But let's go ahead and open this up. Because, what's this? Whoa, okay. So let's, I don't know. See here. I don't want to screw this up already. So let's do this here. Let me see if I could not screw this up. Because it's got this nice slip cover. You remember slip covers, right? On the games. You buy a game, you have a box, and you open up, have a little slip cover, and it had the instructions and all that. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. And this has a slip cover on a book. All right, here's what I want to do. I want to get a little closer look at this here without all the glare. So, oh wow, this is like embossed. It feels kind of like the cart. So this is really done really well. So it gives you like the little indentions. they're trying to do it right, man. Some of these companies when they do, oh look, I'm already screwing this up here. Hold on. Let's do this. Let's look at this here. This is on the back of the book. I like to put these inside the book once I open them up, just to have it. And a lot of collectors appreciate it. There are times when, been following the channel, when I do pass on some of my collection, check out the eBay store for the Collector's Zone. And that's what I do. I like to highlight things, All right. So when I keep these things, let's try to do this again. I'm going to probably have to adjust the camera, but I don't think so. Hold on. Oh, okay. Now I'm hitting the camera. Yeah, this is pretty cool. And it looks just like an old school Nintendo cart. Now, see, it came out in 2016. So, I'm not surprised it says that. And this is all embossed too. It says Nintendo. That's really cool. Now, let me do this here for you guys. I don't know if you remember, as we're talking about slipcovers. Slipcovers on video games. Yeah. Now, here's my Super Mario Brothers 3. One of my favorite games. I love the original. God, dog, this was one of my favorites. And, of course, here's what the back of the cart looks. So, what I wanted to do here, it just came out here. 1985. Holy crap. And thinking about it, says, it says, do not clean with thinners or alcohol and stuff. But there are certain things you can do. Like I do clean these with alcohol a little bit. But back in the day, we used to blow into this. But yeah, so I want to crack this out here to show some of those guys out there. If you've never seen this, this is what slipcover looks like. A lot of times people just have the game left. And unfortunately, I'm one of those guys who barely kept the manual if I did. So let's go ahead and slide this out. It's a nice tight fit. See, like that. I like that. Okay. See if there's anything in here. It's me, Mario. In there somewhere, I bet. But I dig this. Like, being like an old school cart. Yeah, I'm digging it. I'm digging it. All right. So, what I want to do here is, we can go through the book here. Let me adjust the camera. Hold tight.
We've gotten ourselves in a real mess. Stay tuned.
Man, okay. I was like, I hope I do. I always like bringing stuff up close sometimes. So, this is what the side looks like. Playing with Power, Nintendo NES Classics. Now, stay tuned to the end of the video, guys, because I got something cool to show you. It's something that a cool. You just have to wait. All right, we're diving into the book, Jeff. All right, so. Oh man, I'm digging this. So let's get a little. See, that's what I figured I was going to have to do. So here's your table of contents. Now, remember the Nintendo Power magazines back in the day? You had to call the 800 number. Well, you didn't have to. Well, it's not an 800 number. It charged you. They're going to highlight these games here. This is from the first run of Nintendo. From the looks of it, yeah, there's all these first run games. It reminds me of a lot of these games you could play if you have the NES Mini. Yeah, I have enjoyed these, I believe. But what's cool about this is that it's going to dive in a little bit of the history and stuff. And I love seeing these old school displays. Look at that. Oh my God, it's pretty cool. Alright, so we got a little 4 here. And so what I want to do here is give you a chance to read a little bit of it. And what I find interesting, besides the history, is, the circumstances of things, And so this is what this is going to be diving into a little bit. Hopefully, you guys can see all this. You can pause it and read it. I get excited and haul ass through books sometimes, and I apologize for that. When you watch some of my videos, I speak with passion because, God, I grew up in these era in time. The inside story of the NES. Now, I remember, if you follow the channel, I told you a little bit of the story, but I remember the first time I saw a Nintendo, and back then, we didn't know what the hell it was called. This was at Sears when I first saw it. I'm digging how they're doing all this. I mean, a lot of people don't know about some of the parts in there unless you take it, thing apart, like the 72-pin connector. Look at this here. Now, as I normally do here, I want to say some surprises for you guys, but I want you to get the idea of exactly what's going on in the book. As you saw in the box, this was an Amazon find, so links below. As usual, I like to take care of you guys because, when I score, especially at a good price, I want you to score. And this was on sale. I never buy anything full price, as I mentioned, because, I'm like most people, poor guy, poor gamer, who is trying to keep up with all the cool new stuff that's coming out. So we got the launch of the Nintendo. Now, when I was at Sears, when I first saw it, I don't know if this yellow stuff is going to come through for you guys, but I hope it does. October 18th, 1985. I remember hearing about Nintendo just like by experiencing it. I was at Sears, I was walking through. And for you guys who don't know, Sears was a company that had electronics and stuff. Back in the day, I would have my Sears Christmas catalog, and me and my little brother, my sister, would go through the catalog and look at the cool, stuff that we wanted. But back then, these were the '80s, man. You know, I was wanting my video game in the '80s was different. I remember the arcades was disappearing. Oh my god, I was worried. So these are 17 games. Hold on, don't want to lie to you. So these are first party titles, launch day. Okay. Yep, 17. And right here, so this is going to be the pages, I guess. So we go to page 18, there'll be Mario Brothers there. So let's go ahead. I like the tech stuff, and I like the history. I'm also want to know, hey man, what am I missing in the game? And from the looks of it here, this game was fun for me, but not that much fun because I got kind of frustrated with it. I mean, I enjoyed it, and I got these games, only when I could afford it, and they were far and few between. So a lot of these games I experienced later on in life. Here's the Ice Climber. I remember playing that one. It was like, okay. I mean, for me, I mean, I don't know, man. It has to grab me like from the soul. This is really cool. Actually, it's giving you a lot of stuff here. Oh man, I hope the camera's not doing funky stuff, man. It's kind of cool. Yeah, I'm really digging the artwork, man. Nintendo had some really cool artwork. Super Mario Brothers, page 18, right there in the corner. So yeah. So whatever game you want to check out when you get the book, you just kind of go to that number. Yeah, I'm digging it. All right. So when I was playing these games, I was going by the seat of my pants. And the thing was that let me see, here's the world 1-1. Now, I don't know how many, I'm trying not to hit the camera, I'm doing it. I don't know how many times I played this game originally without realizing I could go down a pipe and score the, secret stuff. And then, now, I remember finding this one by accident. But you had to play them back in the day. So why did I pick this book up, huh? Well, Nintendo Power was something that I read. I picked up an issue or two. I used to have a book for Mario 3, because that had a lot of shit. But look here, man. I remember getting this level. Oh my god. I'm like, what? That's it? What? Finishing a game was something that I never thought I would be doing. Most of the time I was playing old school stuff like Pac-Man. Like Pac-Man. And, shooters and Robotron and Bender. They didn't really have like, something like that, levels. And Mario showed me all about these levels, secret levels. Look at this shit. World 8-4. I remember playing this forever, going like, wow, how much more? But back then we couldn't save it. Now, you guys who have that mini, pause. You got save states. Oh, God, I wish I had that. All right, the early period. Let's check this shit out. Now, Donkey Kong was a game that was Nintendo's first game that I remember seeing being like everywhere. Now, I remember seeing Nintendo, but not knowing it was Nintendo until Donkey Kong. And I was like, here's Popeye. Popeye to me was similar to Donkey Kong because it was a damsel in distress. You got Brutus, I think his name is Brutus, who was, damn, this thing I'm so sorry, guys. That was liking olive oil, and Popeye's liking olive oil. She had two dudes after her. Well, Mario Brothers, they had Super Mario Brothers. Because Mario Brothers, as you saw right here, is a whole different game. It's a fun game, It's a whole different game. And what was cool was that, to me, learning about Mario, because when I saw Super Mario Brothers when it first came out, I was like, oh man. I was like, that guy looks familiar. He's from Donkey Kong. And of course, I, thought about it was that here's this ape who took, I don't think he had a name back then. I can't recall. I just remember, like going, so the ape takes the chick. There you go. Pauline, I think her name was. There you go. And Donkey Kong was a game because what they did was the guy who came up with Mario and all that, this was his first game, man. And the whole thing about that was, this is the first time it told a story. And when you got to the top, it led to another, game. Now, the reason why I say it led to another game is because back in the day, it was just one thing you did. Different, it got harder, as this one did, but yeah, man. I always remember putting so much quarters in this, and as soon as I died, as soon as I didn't have another quarter, I was pissed. I'm like, damn it. I wanted to beat the game. I never knew they had 4 levels, But what's cool about this here is it's showing you a little bit of everything here. And like here, a summary, how to play. Donkey Kong Jr. is one of those games that are pretty fun. Like I said, I was at Sears when I saw this game. The system. It came with Donkey Kong, a gun, and not Donkey Kong. Excuse me, I'm lying to you. I'm looking at Donkey Kong Jr. thinking Donkey Kong now. No, it came with a light gun. It came with Super Mario Brothers and Duck Hunt. And Duck Hunt was a pretty fun light gun game. And that got me addicted to light gun games. That dog laughing at me, I was so upset. I was like, I wish I could shoot the dog. It's pretty cool. It kind of shows you all this cool stuff here. Scoring, recommended tactics here. Here's shit you should do. And if you follow the channel, I love playing games for the first time because oh look here, an alternate route. I don't remember that. Holy shit. Once again, if you have the NES Mini, you got these games, Donkey Kong Jr., you can check all this shit out. But it's kind of cool that they did all this. So, Nintendo Power was a magazine that, I would see and read. I was reading all kinds of magazines about computers and video games. And towards this time here, it was like a whole different time because the game, the arcades weren't there the way it used to be. Here, I'm gonna just go ahead and we can just flip through this a little bit. Oh, look here. I lied. How RAM works. Holy shit. See, this is the stuff I appreciate. Hope you can see this. So I want it to get a little fuzzy, but see, I'm holding it weird. Yeah. Let's talk about the book here a little bit. I'm talking too much about the games. But yeah, man, this is a very nice book. The pages feel really well done. I mean, it's really pretty. They're not blurry. Like some books you see when I go to used bookstores looking for some books. It's like, man, some of the quality of printing, and you could tell, it's cheap company. Well, this is not cheap. It had the Nintendo seal, right? Yep, there you go. Always have to look for the seal back in the day. Yeah. So the book is really cool. If you're like me and like coffee table books, if you're like me and playing these games and you want to play them a little bit on a deeper level, look, here's the middle period, then you would appreciate this. I remember seeing a commercial for the Nintendo Power, giving you I think it was an 888 number or something like that. Back in the day, it was like it was not toll free. It was a paid thing per minute. Oh, crap, my parents would kill me if I did that. But you know what I did? I said, I'm going to check out the books. And I got the magazines. I wanted to do this. I want to go through all this here so that we can see it. But this book is not heavy. Probably about 3 pounds, maybe less. I don't know. Feels good. Feels comfortable. Not like some other coffee books. You saw the book about Star Wars. That was the thickest, heaviest book outside of the blueprint book. But there's a little thing. Kid Icarus. That's a weird, fun game. I mean, I thought it was cool. I just didn't get super into it. A lot of Nintendo games, because I never played them before, I played them borrowed them from my friends. And of course I had a limited time. Look at this here. This is kind of cool. Tells you about all this stuff here you do. There's stuff with Kid Icarus that I've never, I need to crack into some of these games a little more deeper. And like I said, this is the reason why I wanted to score this book. I don't want to make this a super long video, but darn it, so much here because it's like a lot. Probably about, I don't know how many pages. No, it's not a pamphlet. It's kind of cool. But yeah, I mean, the book is really cool. If you're one of those guys who had brought every Nintendo Power, my hat's off to you on that. I was looking into exploring this guy's collection of Nintendo Powers, but man, he was hard on him as a kid, and he wanted some crazy money. I was like, nah, dude, we're not doing that. Oh my God. Now, this is another game I paid good hard-earned money for. And it's hard. And man, little did I know, the whole story. I didn't really read the instructions. You know me, you've been watching the channel. That was part of the thrill for me, is pop a quarter into the game and enjoy. This is really cool. I'll probably become more better, at these games, knowing what's going on with them, Look at this. Passwords. That's back in the day, we had to write down passwords. And we had to create a map of where all these levels were, because we had to go in these little bubble things. Well, you played Metroid, the old school game. But yeah, I went from wanting an Atari 2600 when it first came out. The Intellivision was hot on its heels. The first game I had at home was my grandpa gave me a Pong with me and my brother Pong system. And then that's got me hooked on video games. Having that there each and every day, playing Pong. I played Pong as much as I could, but when we got our ColecoVision, by the time we had saved up enough money, man, ColecoVision was already out. Those graphics for Donkey Kong it came with a pack in Donkey Kong. So of course Jeff was going to get that because he was addicted to Donkey Kong. So was my brother. My brother, I think, was better at Donkey Kong than I was. But yeah, my little brother could kick some ass, man. So, when I noticed that ColecoVision, you could play Atari games, I was all over that shit. See, this is what I'm telling you about. These levels are freaky. So yeah, I'm going to enjoy this shit. Did I, get these magazines to try to beat games? No. I was enjoying the games. And, classified information. What we got here? Dr. Mario. See, Dr. Mario's popular. Remind me of Tetris. Yeah, that's kind of cool. Yeah, man. I mean, what? Okay. At the end of World War II, take the top left. Now, they're just teaching you a little bit about it. For you kiddos out there who never played these games before, you want to pick up the book and you want to try to beat the game. I know there's that one kid a while back that we talked about on the Geek and I, John and Jeff. Always below there's links so you can check out those videos there. But here's Zelda. Zelda was okay. I mean, I got into a little bit, but it was like there's a lot to it. And I remember a lot of people, playing this game. And there's, look at this. I mean, holy crap. This is shiny. I just know it's kind of doing a little thing there. Maybe you'll pick it up. I know it just went blurry. If it goes in and out blurriness, guys, I am totally sorry. I'm just excited to have this. Yeah, I mean, Zelda was cool. There's, the two Zeldas that came with the, let's go through here. I don't like this long ass video. I wonder. This is all Zelda. Yeah. So these color pages are the game? Well, okay, no, it's not. I thought maybe it's color coded. So that's in the Zelda, goes into Punch Out. Look at this share. You Zelda fans know what's going on here. I'm like, what? Alright. But yeah, so after getting the ColecoVision and the adapter to play my Atari games, the next system I got was this. And it's only because, oh god, I forgot to go back to that story. Sears. Yeah, man. So walking through Sears, minding my own business, I saw Mario on TV with the little game, controller sitting there. I'm like, okay, what's all this about? And I stopped and played it. Then I said, I have to own this. I want it. I didn't know video games are coming back, because back in the day, man, the dark times. That's why I call it dark times. Yeah, man. It's like, holy crap, man. I was like, video games are back. I was happy. But then the arcades were already dying and dead. And Chuck E. Cheese was not a place for me to hang out and play video games. Here's Mario. Now, Mario 2, man, it's okay, but it's weird, man. I remember decided we got a second Mario game, and it's just different. It didn't play like the first. But, once again, I was talking about Mario 3. Holy crap, that was fun. So, I mean, now I get to look at this book and I'm going to try to give this a good, solid playthrough. Because I never did. I mean, I owned it. I mean, I didn't buy this game for my Nintendo. I brought it with the Mini. That was the first time I was like, okay, let's do this again. I borrowed my friends. When Super Mario 2 came out, my friend got it. And I was like, hey, let me borrow that real quick. Let me check this out. Because we were like in passing at work. We talked nothing but video games. And it was kind of cool. I'm really digging a lot of the artwork. There's been a lot of thought put into this. That's for sure. Now, at the time of this video, this is on sale for $22 and some change. It's I think a $40 book. Waited for it to come down because, that's the dude. He's the one that created, not only Mario, but he's Donkey Kong. I think he was doing something else in the factory. And everyone was busy. We were trying to come up with a game because Radar Scope by Nintendo, I love that game. That's a shooter. And Nintendo, back in the day, they were like doing clones. I remember, you know me, you follow the channel. Breakout's one of my favorite games. And Nintendo did a clone. So it was okay, but I was too into the original. The arcade version, I wasn't. We're delving into Zelda 2. Now, this is also part of the Mini. So if you can score Mini, if you haven't already, I'm not sure how much they're going these days, but oh, look at this shit. These maps. You Zelda fans out there, you'll enjoy this. Me, I might give it another shot. I don't know, just fantasy games altogether. It's alright, but I just never really got into it. Don't be sending the Collector's Zone hate mail because I didn't play Zelda as much as you guys do. That looks wicked. See, I'm into, like, back in the day, D&D was a thing. Played it a few times. A friend of mine got me into it. Got books and dice and shit. And I played it a little while, and that was the end of that. So I lose interest in games, including board games and role-playing games like the D&D. I guess that's a role-playing game. And here's our later period. Man, there's Mario 3. So here's later in. So yeah, this was the time here. I like the way he did this here. Talk a little bit about it. But yeah, Tetris came out. I was addicted to that for the Game Boy because I was working at that time at Dillard's Electronics when I was able to score Mario 3 and Game Boy Tetris is out, and so I got the regular version. A lot of my games I played, it was available to play, was at Toys R Us or KB Toy Store. They used to have like a little place, like a scan. And this is the, now, Super Mario Brothers Duck Hunt and World Class Meet. I scored this by accident when I was picking up this guy's collection, and it needed a pad to play it. So I was like, oh, man, okay, no pad. And I already had the first two, so I wanted to just, back then I just wanted trading off games. So here's another one that's kind of like a Tetris kind of thing, I guess. It's hard to describe. I mean, it was not the platformer I thought it was going to be, like Mario and Mario 3. Now, this is why I wanted to get the book mainly, because I want to play this again. I played it originally with no help except for that one book I got towards the end. I was like, I got to finish this game. It was a lot harder. This is kind of cool. It tells you about a little bit about the characters and shit. But yeah, I mean, I really wanted to beat this game. I remember staying up, playing it with my friends, taking turns. Here, you do this level. You're better at it than I am. My friend was really good at that. I don't mention names in my videos a lot of times because I didn't ask permission. I'm just thinking about. Well, I really am digging a lot of this artwork, man. I never asked permission. And I never said my little brother's name or my sister's name because out of respect. But yeah, I mean, playing this, oh my god, I was so addicted to it. And trying so hard, and once again, back in the days, there was no pause button. Now, when the Mini came out, yeah, I was giving it a shot, but when the Mini came out, I had a lot going on, man. I had, other games I was into, so this is going to be fun to do another deep dive. I haven't played Mario 3 all the way through, or Super Mario Brothers. It came with the system all the way through since the old school days. So I dive in and have a little fun. I save the spot and move on. And that's not how I want to play. I want to play I want to have fun. This is a hard. Oh my god! I remember this kicked my ass. I was trying not to make a whole long video. It is what it is. I remember these little characters he would change into. He would eat a mushroom and become that big ass Mario. I was like, alright, let's do this. I get excited and pumped when Mario changed to something different. And of course, when the Super Nintendo came out, the SNES, oh man, Mario World kicked my butt. And maybe I need to go back and see if they made a book for the SNES. But I didn't think this far. What attracted me to this book, and then I forgot about it, as usual, I got a lot of shit going on. It's like, I forget. I'm glad I remember. It's like, oh yeah, I was looking for this. Counselor's Corner. Let's see what this is. How I defeat. Okay, well, that's cool. This is some tips from the pros, I guess. I don't know. I haven't read the book yet, guys. When I do unboxings, I don't like to do too much research because, I want to see this firsthand. I like the Star Tropics. Now, that's a game I haven't played. It's on the the NES Mini. And here's a letter from Uncle Steve. That's hopefully you see this. That letter is legible. Just want to make sure my camera's picking it up. Hopefully you see all this. I'm ready to pull out from that. Yeah, letter from Uncle Steve. I'm so sorry if it got a little blurry if you can't see it. Once again, technical difficulties, man. Yeah, I highly recommend this book if you're like me, into old school gaming. Let me get this back in frame. And into these games. A lot of these games are on the, like I said before, the mini. And so I'm looking forward to diving in, checking this out, especially Metroid. Oh man, I love that game. Let's see here. But all in all, man, I mean, I'm impressed with the quality. I mainly got it because it gave you all the levels, these 17 games it's highlighting, and it's about the early days of Nintendo. And that's for me, the history of Nintendo. Apparently, I didn't know, but I knew about Nintendo without knowing Nintendo. I learned a lot from the Video Game Museum there in Frisco. There's another playlist for that. You can check that out. I do playlists for a lot of things to help out if you group together. But Dr. Mario, I remember this being super, really famous. Not famous, like popular. Remind me of little Tic Tacs. Supposed to be little pills. I get that, but back in the day we had Tic Tacs. It came in orange and green, and I don't remember other flavors. But yeah, Kirby's Adventure. That's a fun game to play. Another game that I didn't play all that much, but the time I played it was pretty cool. Let's see here. Cream. Is there a level I'm missing on, or I didn't get to? Vegetable. I just played it for a little while. Once again, it's one of those games that, going to a friend's house. Hey, you got any new Nintendo games? And back then we didn't call it NES. Back then we just called it Nintendo. Have any new Nintendo games? And one of my friends had this game. They were expensive, guys, and I had to save up money to get ones I wanted, and then wait to save up more money for another one if I could really like it. But the thing is that, for me, it had to be something that I wanted to play a lot of, because they were expensive. And I did a lot of trades. I was always about trading, It's all about Kirby. Yeah, I think Kirby's going to be the end here. Seems like. I didn't want to show the whole book, but then it turned out that way a little bit. What happens on the Collector's Zone? Jeff says one thing, another happens. Oh well. That's why you watch. What's Jeff going to do next? And once again, I appreciate you guys, especially my new subscribers. Thank you so much. Look at this here. Keeping it going. I never got into the Nintendo DS, Game Boy as far as I got with the portable. I was more into the console gaming. Oh look, this is really cool. That's the gamepad I was talking about, man. Damn, it's all blurry. There we go. That's the one I needed to play that one game, and I just said, nope. Because it was trying to find one that's not torn up, because they were not built securely, in my opinion. But yeah, that's kind of cool. I never had Robbie the Robot, but I remember seeing him. I didn't get that joystick looking thing, or that one. that was, I don't remember seeing it in the store. This is hands-free controller. This is stuff that I don't remember seeing. So this is kind of cool. There's that. No, see, the gray one came out first, I remember. And then there's that. I talked about that in one of my videos. I did an unboxing. I wanted to get a complete NES and SNES from collectors, and unfortunately didn't have all the whole boxes. Let's check this shit out right here. Yeah, pretty cool. Yeah, I'm like a lot of you guys. Don't have a lot of money. You're trying to get a lot of stuff, a lot of cool stuff. So let's put this back in here. I'm really digging this case. And I thought there was something in here, but maybe it was a velvet. No, because it was snug in there a little bit. So I like the idea that it fits in there really good to where it protects it. I was worried that the outside, this sliding case would be... No, hold on. Jeff's gonna fight with the book. Is he winning? Yeah, okay. I like that it's secure and there's not much of a gap to where if you stack it on top of the other books, it will fuck up this, like, here. But all in all, a book that I got from Amazon that's not damaged on the corners, especially with this type of, casing. Oh, shit. Oh, sorry, guys. Let's see if I can do it right. There you go. Hopefully you can see all that. So sorry. I'm digging this right here. Yeah. Playing with power. And this will be, I like the slide. I'll put that right in here for right now. All right. Protect it. That's going to be too tight. I have to put it inside the book. All right. Well, like I promised, there's a cool video I want to show you. It's a, documentary that came out. You can see it on Amazon, or you can buy it on Amazon. But yeah, it's about the history of Nintendo. It's a 5-part documentary. You can buy the Blu-ray. It's got special features, but I just watched the regular documentary as far as I wanted to do it. And it's interesting to watch. So let's check out the trailer to that. Once again, big shout out to all my new subscribers. I appreciate hanging out at the Collector Zone. But my OGs, the guys who've been there from the beginning, I appreciate you. Until next time, my fellow gamers, game on. Catch you in the next one. Laters.
I always remember this when we were standing around looking at an NES system for the first time, preparing to sell it in New York. I remember one of the management guys looked at me and he goes, "Do you have any idea what's going to happen to this company if this thing takes off?"
So Nintendo started back in the 1880s as a trading card company. So they were in the gaming business way before we probably ever even called it the gaming business.
It may be the most addictive toy in history. Nintendo video game.
My mind was blown.
My mind was just blown.
Blew my mind, changed my life.
I was blown away. The NES was so magical.
A quantum leap.
Watching and yelling at the screen. Oh, it's right there. Oh, don't miss
Christmas, when I was 8 years old, ripping open the packaging.
Nintendo, now you're playing with power.
I love Mario and all of his buddies.
This is going to be controversial and I'll get hate mail for this, but you want the truth? I'll give you the truth.
To fans, they represent a challenge, but to critics, they are a menace.
Nintendo was embroiled in a lot of lawsuits, like things were kind of bad.
Nintendo controlled the market and they had a monopoly. I mean, it's plain and simple.
In 6 years, the price hasn't gone down at all. There's no competition for them.
They were a little bit drunk on their own success.
Missteps can really create financial turmoil for a company.
I didn't think they understood how much money they were going to lose. Once the PlayStation came out, it was a different level of competition.
Nintendo, they were in solid third place.
I would always say that I sell joy for a living, and we were Nintendo. It did not matter to us what it would take.
I think the health of Nintendo is something that we should cherish as an industry.
There's some real beauty to moments in time. When you think of video games, the very first thing that comes to your mind is Nintendo.
Here we go!